Well, hello there, everybody. This is episode 5 of SideTalk with Ramy and Craig. And just to open this up, I'm going to watch Shakira's new music video, which I haven't seen. I don't know what she looks like. Ramy is very excited,
I
and
love Shakira.
we both love Shakira. And Ramy says that she is still very hot.
Oh yeah.
So this is the first time I'm going to see this. I'm very excited. We're going to mute it just for copyright reasons. Here we go. I'll just watch the first 10 seconds, 20 seconds. What do you think? That's a question to you, Ramy.
Oh well,
What you doing?
the first 10 seconds you don't see nothing. You have to see the cheerleader
Right.
routine she does.
Okay,
She
right.
does like a
I'm
yeah.
playing it right here. Okay, right. Here we go. Okay, so I've just got a wee close up and she's looking beautiful. She's looking very
43 years old. Do you believe that? That's
43.
40
She's doing
fucking
this
three.
stuff here.
Yeah, she's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's lovely. But they do a lot in Hollywood and they fix her up.
Whatever. Everybody, I was reading the comments. I was reading the comments of those these YouTube comments. I mean, they're funny. They're interesting, right?
Yeah.
They were mentioning something called
Oh God.
acetone
We're getting
or
dancing, Ramy. Sorry, acetone. Yeah, I've heard of that.
or something. No, 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 acetone, not the acetone. Some kind of theory
Good, good.
or conspiracy theory that these Hollywood and international stars worship the devil, and that's how they keep young.
Yeah. Do you not know how that's how it is?
Well, I'm waiting for my recruitment then because I'm ready to sell my soul.
Oh my God.
I always said that. I always said that if the devil, if you could really sell your soul, he would have came to my ass a long time. Because I was like, where sold American.
Yeah. Oh my days. We've got another scene here. Right. I'll
All
tell you
right,
what.
all right,
Let
all
me let
right.
me give you some feedback on what I've just seen so far. Close-ups in the beginning, lovely face. Second of all, she does her hair in this way that it's like that like raw, like you find her in the jungle kind of hair. It's a bit messy, right? And you're okay with it. And
I think I've had that fantasy too, finding Shakira in the jungle.
oh yes, would that not be? Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
that would be something,
hey,
right? So now
go.
we've gone through the dance routine. I know what you're talking about there. Um, physique. Wow, that's what dancing does though as well, bro.
That's one of the best videos I've ever seen.
I mean,
Anyway, it's just good for her and her stupid, good-looking football player husband who makes millions of dollars and has Shakira as a wife.
well
Who's
done, PK. Well done, PK.
yeah,
I mean, Barcelona.
whatever,
Yeah,
whatever. PK.
yeah. Apparently, the girls love like I talked to some Spanish girls, and out of the Spanish football team and Barcelona football team and stuff, like they all say PK, or like a lot of them do. Like
Really?
in terms of like who's their favorite.
I
So
mean, I mean, I mean, I only looked them up because of Shakira. I am not a football fan, guys. I don't know anything other than like the very, very basics, right? But I looked him up. I mean, he's just a typical good-looking guy. Just dark features.
yeah, I mean, you'd swap your face for his.
Well, I wouldn't go that as far, but I'll definitely swap my life for his, especially if
If Shakira's
Shakira
in
is
it.
your baby mother.
It was an interesting choice to bring like the longboard.
Hating.
What?
I'm hating.
You are hating. Would you just right? I
I
was
am.
telling Rami
I
before
believe
this.
it.
Gratefulness. Be grateful, and then when you look at other people, like it doesn't matter. Be grateful for what you have.
Yeah, that's what losers tell themselves, Greg.
Well,
Be
listen,
grateful. No, I'm just kidding.
it's right. That's finished. Amazing. No,
Yeah,
let's.
watch it later in
It's
your
done.
bedroom
It's done.
at night.
Calm yourself. That's enough for me. I get the picture. She looks like an angel, and a devil at the same time, which is an interesting,
Yes. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's a good idea,
a
for
good.
the other thing we talked about.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Ooh. I mean, that is a classic already. Anyway, right. So, boys and girls,
All
ladies
right,
and gentlemen,
episode 5. We made it to
five,
number 5. You know,
halfway, halfway.
that's
So,
right.
should I tell everyone what we're talking about?
Yes, please do, because I'm sure they're dying to know.
What is this about? Right, okay. So basically, we're thinking about talking about Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, right? A YouTuber, Logan Paul against arguably one of the best boxers of all time, 50-0, Floyd Mayweather. I think he's 50-0.
Yeah, 50 something, or yeah,
And
50.
for people, they probably, if they don't follow boxing at all, they might have watched McGregor against Floyd because that was a big pull, the whole drama and, Conor McGregor is the character.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's agreed. And we also want to talk about his brother, Jake Paul, a feistier, not as intelligent, the less intelligent brother, the more impulsive brother, let's say. I think that's fair enough to say, who has called out two MMA fighters, Colin McGregor, Conor McGregor, and Dillon Danis. And everyone's jumping in, Ramy. Every MMA fighter sees the purse, a possible $50 million for one fight against a YouTuber, someone they would just maybe spar with in the gym. And thank you very much, 50 million. Go on, Ramy. Give me your reaction.
I mean, it's a Mayweather, man. He is a drawer, and he's just trying to make a quick buck. I mean, it's no danger for him at all. I mean, he could go into this fight coming off a keg party, and he'll still beat the crap out of. I mean, everybody knows it, right? But this is just for a payday. I mean, he's like, this is the greatest thing Mayweather can ever do in his life. He's like, what? Another bullshit fighter wants to fight me in my ring? Okay. I was looking at the coincidentally before you even told me that we were going to talk about this, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at the 5 greatest boxing matches. And it's for how much money they made, how much money they brought, purses.
Yeah.
Not even purse, just the amount of money
they made. The total revenue for each boxing match.
Okay, 4 of the top 5 or 6 were Mayweather.
Yeah.
You know, his fight with Pacquiao was the number 1, right?
Okay.
Then him and McGregor was 2.
Wow. Yeah.
Then him and somebody else, I think De La Hoya was up there, but that was a great match fight, by the way. Oh, and Canelo, right.
I'm sure he was.
So yeah. Canelo was right. But De La Hoya came the closest to beating Mayweather, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a quick match, and of course he's gonna do some other shit. It's just that the only thing that could go wrong here is for your boy, right? I mean, he if Mayweather wants to do this, like, it's kind of on Mayweather to like save him, right? If he wants to like beat him up and cause permanent brain damage the first round,
that's what people are talking about. People are worried for him.
Yeah, but Mayweather ain't gonna do that, man, because Mayweather, he's not gonna do that. He's gonna take this to 12 rounds.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna knock him out. He's gonna take it to 12 rounds, right? And this is because Mayweather's a show. Like, let me get my money and leave.
But also, Ramy, it's like imagine you're playing with a child, like a child who's smaller, younger. They don't know what they're doing, coordination, and you're just playing around with them. You don't just slap them down on the ground in the first 30 seconds. You kind of toy with them a wee bit. And I'm with you. I think exact same what you just said is going to happen. He's going to pull him in, get him really, really tired because he's not had that experience, and just play with him.
I mean, yeah. Dana White said McGregor is not going to do this at all. And you know what? McGregor ain't Mayweather. and he might fuck that dude up. Like he might, like, right? McGregor ain't Mayweather. McGregor be like, you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah,
knock this guy the fuck out. You
100%.
know, McGregor doesn't play around. So, I mean, that was a kind of a farce too. Him versus Mayweather.
Mm.
Studying martial arts for several years, right?
Do you want to give your
You,
background, Rami? Just like tell people, you.
sure, I'm a black belt in judo. I've been doing it for, I don't know, 15 years, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
16 years. Yeah.
I've been helping Rami develop his skills over the last
Yeah.
15 years. He's
Right.
made his way up and he's doing really, really well, actually.
I'm not. Thanks, coach.
No worries.
So it just taught me that anything that you want to be good at, you have to do for several years
Mm,
and focused on just that.
mhm.
And even with McGregor, he has a lot, a base boxing kind of background,
Mhm.
but MMA, you can't go into another sport and pretend like you could, like BJJ, for instance, is very similar to judo. I mean, on the ground anyway, right?
Mhm.
I can't go into a BJJ tournament and,
I expect to
I
do
probably
really,
wouldn't
really
get too
well.
far. Right, right, right. So, right, and for vice versa for them, they will even get less in judo, right? Or boxing. I've been taking boxing lately,
Mm.
and it's just a different type of stamina. And there's some kind of body tricks that travel with you that you could bring to the other sport, like how to breathe right, and kind of like catch a stance, because every kind of martial art or sport, fighting sport, has kind of a defense stance,
Mm.
right? So that you could transgend and
Transfer?
transfer maybe,
Yeah.
right?
You want to talk
Trans-
about some transgender stuff in this?
no more of that, right? So that's that. But it's ridiculous, man. It's just like, it makes me sick. It makes me want to throw up that you have these
Canelo.
farces, you know?
Canelo actually recently said that it's making things a joke. What I've got the page here. Yeah, he slammed Canelo Alvarez slams YouTuber fights like Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. He criticized boxers fighting celebrity fighters, and basically like what everyone's saying. It's kind of what is it? It's making a joke of the sport, essentially.
It is. It's an integrity thing. I'm a boxing fan.
Hmm.
I like to see the best fight. You know. You know. Ali Frazier. You know.
Yeah.
It's just one of the treats of life to see two people that are the best at something, or even two teams that are the best at something,
Yeah.
fight for a championship. I mean, I'm sure you have a favorite game like I do, and that when you do stuff like this, from Mayweather's point, everybody always criticizes him, but Mayweather's like, a Trump to me. I mean, he's just a Trump. I mean, he's just like a guy who, you can't say, wait a minute, traditionally nobody should do this. This is, not proper for this.
Mm,
He throws all that shit out the window, and he has the right to. You
mm,
know, you might not like him for that, but hey, if it's not
yeah.
against the rules, and people are willing to pay for it, then
Yes.
I guess do it. I'm just, you know, it would be better if he just knocked him the fuck out the first round. I think everybody would love that, and I bet you won't see no more YouTube shit. YouTubers.
So, so this interesting, right? Height, and we know height and range play a part in boxing. I want you to weigh in on this, Rami. People have had their say and say it's not going to make a difference, but look at the difference in the height here. 188, Logan Paul. 173, Mayweather. 1 meter 88 versus 173. Like, it's a fair difference.
I mean, I, yeah, I mean, maybe if Mayweather, like, it depends. If Logan Paul, like, doesn't want to get hit by Mayweather, he could always stay at a distance where he could maybe not like kind of like step away from the punches because
Mhm.
he's so far. But then, he'll be just running away the whole match,
Yeah.
right? And so, but as far as toe to toe, that doesn't make a difference,
Question: what would you tell Logan Paul if you're in his corner of how to win, or survive, or what's his best strategy, and also what would you do for Floyd?
Well, I mean, I'm no boxing expert. Floyd is a genius in the ring, so he wouldn't even take my advice. I wouldn't need to give him. But Floyd's gonna do what he always does: is defense, and dodging. Dodge and counter. That's what Floyd's a master at, and that's why he's one of the best boxers of all time. I mean, the best boxers in the world couldn't hit Floyd Mayweather. Can't hit Floyd Mayweather. The best
Yeah,
boxers
yeah, that's good.
ever cannot hit Floyd Mayweather. So there's nothing you could really tell Logan Paul to do.
All right.
In fact, you could even I would tell him don't do this fight. But if you're gonna do it, I was probably just jab and try to jab and keep your hands up. That's it. Jab and keep your hands up, and hopefully Mayweather doesn't knock your ass out the first 10 seconds because he wants a good show. You know, I really like Triple G. I really who Triple G is?
No.
He's I think he's a middleweight. Former Ganavi. I'm murdering his name. Uh,
Okay, Triple
Ganavi
G.
Golovkin. Triple G. Right. A really great boxer, middleweight. Him versus Mayweather, I would pay to see, but that's never gonna happen. Anyway,
Hmm.
Logan Paul's an idiot, but
Is he an idiot for taking it because of his health's at risk here?
I mean, again, he is putting the fate of his health in that of Mayweather. So it's really on Mayweather what he's thinking. Maybe they have a prearranged deal, like yo, don't hit me so hard, dog. You know, for like, yeah, no doubt. Like I'll just fuck around, and we'll make some cash. Word up.
You know,
Maybe it's like that. And if it's like that, okay, fuck it. You
so
know.
Logan
Would you wait a
Paul.
minute? Here's a better question. Hold on. Here's a better question. Would you actually pay to see this?
No, no.
You sure? Because
No,
you
I
would pay
wouldn't.
some
I
to
mean,
say
but
some
I'm
silly shit.
stingy anyway for paying for like I'll go to a bar. I'll go to a bar.
Oh, but you would go to a bar to see it.
I wouldn't be buzzed. It's not like if it was like a crazy no, it doesn't have the same pull. But would I watch it? Kind of, yeah, because I'm interested in I guess I watched Logan Paul's show. Like we said before this call. Like I watch him and bring on guests and stuff, and just because he's familiar. That's the only reason. I'm curious. I would be curious to see what Floyd Mayweather does to an amateur. What way does he approach it? And the money involved just makes it interesting because I think people operate differently whenever there's huge amounts of money. Um,
Huh.
yeah, sorry, that's a roundabout way of saying I would watch it. Would I pay for it? No. Um, but yeah, I would tune in. I'd be interested. I know a
Yeah, I
lot of
mean,
people that wouldn't.
well, I mean, I mean, I have no interest in any of this because, like I said, it's a farce. You
Hmm.
know, it's a farce. Even if even McGregor fought Mayweather again, that's a farce to me.
Yeah, but
You know,
Rami, do you appreciate the business being done from these YouTubers? Like, you can say all you want about their like it's ridiculous. Am I going out of focus here with my camera?
you are.
How do we fix that, Rami? Here, right. Anyway, it does. You can see me. It'll be fine. So, do you appreciate the business that is being done by them? Like to pop $50 million out of thin air.
Uh, I guess not appreciation. Not the. I wouldn't use appreciate. I would be more like it's just uh curious. It's almost like really, like it's almost unbelievable. But
But do you not give some props to them being able to make this fight happen. To you know
No,
why?
because
From a
again,
strictly business point of view.
no, that's like giving props to a girl who shows her titties on Instagram that has 1 million followers. I don't give props to her
Is it
either.
no? Is it the same?
It is the same because
Why?
you're doing something
Where's
that's
Logan Paul's titties? What's his version of titties on his YouTube? You know,
his version of titties is because he knocked out an unprepared
we're talking about
basketball player.
yeah,
Huh?
we're talking about.
Right.
I can't believe you actually know about that too. Look at
Well,
you.
because I'm a basketball fan, so Nate
You've heard
Robinson.
about it, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my sister, we're both basketball fans, and
What here?
Nate
Question.
Nate Robinson is actually pretty good basketball
But,
player.
but you
You
know
know.
you're mixing up the two brothers here. That wasn't Logan. That was his brother Jake.
Oh, whatever. I mean, it could be Richie, Logan, Jake. Who cares? I mean, it's the same. It's the same idea.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's make a gimmick, right? That's why I don't like it. It's a gimmick.
It is a
Let's
gimmick.
make a buck. Let's make a buck off a gimmick. And a girl that shows her titties, it's the same thing. It's a gimmick. You know,
I agree
it's
with
not
that.
really like, oh, let's
I agree,
bravo. You know.
Ramy. I agree with that, except one minor detail. It's a gimmick to make 50 million bucks. Do you know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
great. I mean, listen, I'm not hating on them in this case, right? But I won't respect it. Yeah, you're saying if I applaud it
No, 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 no,
or
no, 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 no. I'm saying, do you appreciate, like, let's put it a different way. Do you appreciate the tenacity of those guys going after and securing such a high profile fight and securing that amount of money and securing, uh, you know, I mean,
no. Again, you could put it in a million different ways, Craig.
yeah,
All right. I do not appreciate it. Okay. I do not. There's no way in this world that I appreciate because people have chosen not to do this path. There are people with dignity. There are people with standards,
I
right?
like that.
If I value Jake, Logan, Paul, whatever the fuck, right?
Mm.
Right? Then I have to, put them in the same league as the people I really do respect,
Mm.
who do have integrity. You know, and I can't do that.
But
I'm sorry, and that's the problem.
like we're talking business here.
It doesn't
No,
matter. There's still integrity, and this is a sport,
mm.
it's integrity, you know. Like if I could make $50 million taking a shit, would I do it? No, because that's
Right, well.
disgusting. If people
Live event.
right, if people
It
wanted to
would be
see a
there
live
for 40
event
I'd put
of
on the
me
show.
sitting on the fucking toilet taking a shit, right? If I could do that, you think I would? No.
I wouldn't pay for that. I would not. I would not get the subscription for that.
Right. All right. So you also wouldn't pay to see them fight. So exactly, their equivalent is them taking a shit, and you're
But I'm
like,
kind of
oh shit,
curious.
don't you appreciate that they're taking a shit, Rami? They're making $50 million. No, I do not appreciate it. That,
But equally
I
wrong.
hope it
Equally,
draws in negative money. I hope they lose money on this shit.
Rami. But equally, do you not think that you would applaud someone who was able to make $50 million from
No,
taking a shit?
no, I wouldn't. I'm telling you, just because that's integrity, man. I'm not down for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most glamorous. You want to earn it. You want to achieve it. Like.
Well, I mean, listen, in this day and age,
Oh, it's out
you
the
can make.
window.
I mean, whatever, everything goes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So
everything's
maybe
accepted.
doesn't matter. Integrity doesn't matter.
Well,
You know.
it's what we were talking about on the last podcast with Belle Delphine, with like she's bringing out a porn thing and like a proper film, and she's gonna make a lot of money off it, and she's made money off OnlyFans, and the attitude's very different than it was years ago. It was now it's like, girl, go get that money. Like I hear that sort of little phrase a lot.
Yeah. Right.
Go get that bag. Go get that bag.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
but
How do you argue against that? You know.
no one ever hits you with the moral thing anymore. Whereas like it's funny, isn't it?
I mean, it's sad, honestly, but it's just the way of the dodo, I guess. It's going and I mean, it doesn't matter. And who am I to argue against it? Like, I can't really argue against it. because it's like, oh well, I'm making $1 million and you're broke. I
Mm,
mean, it's true. You know, they are rich, and a lot of people are broke. You know, so
yeah.
keep your attention. How can you argue against it? But still, for this YouTuber,
Mm,
I would, you know, I guess if I was, listen, it's hard to say because I guess if I was Logan Paul, I would do this. If I was Mayweather, I would do this. If I was them,
mm.
you know, from their point of view, I would definitely 100% do this, you know.
But if you were
But
Ramy, right, and Mayweather offered you the fight for 50 million, like, be honest here, Mayweather, you've just met him in a bar, and you hit it off and whatever.
yeah, hell yeah, I would do it. I would
What
do
are
it.
you talking about then?
No, but again, right?
You've got
But
a
me,
damn integrity, Ramy.
no. But that's you. Your analogy was like if he just met you in a bar and be like, "Yo, last 10 rounds in the ring with me, and I'll give you $50 million."
Okay.
Right? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna try. Like I'm gonna fucking train hard and try
What's the
shit.
difference? What's the
But
difference?
the difference is right. Mayweather didn't offer this to Paul, right? Paul sought him out, right? Logan, whatever his name is, Logan Paul sought him out
Right?
after
Okay.
he knocked out somebody, and he was just like, "Oh my
No,
God, look how
he didn't even knock anyone out.
yeah, he knocked out Nate Robinson, right? Or
No, I'm
something.
telling you, you're mixing the brothers up again. That's not him. He lost his
Oh,
last match. He lost his last match to another YouTuber.
really? Oh,
Yes,
then he's.
I'm pretty sure. Let me just get.
I mean, whatever. Who cares, right? I'm just saying, in a case where I am now, I wouldn't, right? I would, but if I was, I wouldn't be making a farce of it, though. You know, it just seems like they're making a farce of it,
But you would
and
be
that's what
making a
bothers me.
farce of it just by your very presence there.
You're making a bad analogy. That's not
No, you
you
lost.
know I would have to be what if I all right say we one day hopefully this becomes so popular like Jason Logan whatever his name is Paul Logan's right I even know his name this guy
Okay, okay.
all right
Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
whatever right uh
Oh, you can.
can't see it
Can't see it. Can't see it. Why is this camera? This is the one thing about this camera. It's a mess.
your
Anyway, sorry.
autofocus is off
Go ahead.
so anyway yeah if I was like and then you know I boxed no if I made it up to his status I wouldn't do it that's what I'm saying
Oh, okay.
but if I have like, if you're like, yo, you're offering me a fucking paycheck of a lifetime, and I'm kind of like,
You're broke. You got nothing
you're
going for you.
broke. I got no, yeah, I would do it, But if I
Mm.
had an option, I'd be like, no, I wouldn't do it. No, I would never do it because I respect it too much. Now, I would love to be in the
I,
same ring with Mayweather just out of the privilege. It's like, yo, I fought Mayweather one day, like,
well, what about that?
yeah. I mean, yeah. And don't
Is it a
sure.
farce now? If Logan Paul is he just really wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather to share the ring with him?
Yeah, but that's not the case, is it?
Let's
No.
let's crack on, Rami. I think we've covered this, right? So
Yeah, let's move on.
in summary,
Boo.
this fight's happening. They're both going to make a lot of money. Some people will tune in. Some people will think it's ridiculous. What is the outcome? Obviously, Floyd Mayweather is going to win this battle. Um, if you can, you wouldn't call it a battle. And life will move on, and we'll continue to have celebrity um, matches like this. It's not going to go away. It's not. It's going to get more. There's going to be way more, way more. So, do we want to go on to Jake Paul? Let's. So Jake Paul has called out Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor's having a charity match in UFC with a guy called Poirier, who he knocked out already. And it's for a good cause, and they're both. I think McGregor's equaling Poirier's purse or whatever it is, and it's a good thing. It's if you're Conor McGregor, Rami, and okay, this right, Jake Paul has called him out, and he is actually, by the way, he signed and sent him a check for 50 million. I think it's 50 million, and said just sign the contract. And he's calling him a pussy, and he's calling Dana White a pussy. And do you sign it, or can you get bigger fights than that?
It's it's the same thing as the other thing. It's a farce, man.
But
I really
right. But is Conor McGregor going to sign that?
no,
Not at all.
no. I hope he doesn't. Because Dana White's not gonna do it because he don't need the money. And first of all, Dana White ain't getting none of the money probably, right? Or maybe he is. I don't know
They
how
would.
the contract works, right?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, but he don't. But Dana White doesn't need the money. He's like, yo, I pay Conor McGregor already a lot of money, and he's a serious fighter, you know. So no, I hope McGregor doesn't sign it. But if this Mayweather thing draws in $1 billion, that has a funny way of changing people's minds. So you know, you know. Oh, remember we talked about Dave Chappelle a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and guess what? HBO Max took down Chappelle Show.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, man, you can't predict.
What does that
Um,
mean?
it means whining works. It means pressure. Whether it's wrong or right or whatever,
Hmm.
it works.
Hmm.
So anything what you think, oh, this will never happen. I've started saying that a lot less and less lately because I've been proven wrong. You know, so
I feel you. Well, Ramy, my boy, uh, let's get on up to the vaccine talking now.
oh, that's a great.
Here in the UK
I'm telling you, the Southern American accent and you know,
the Irish are
Eng-
similar.
Irish English, yeah, it's kind of similar.
What are you talking about? You're just comparing the southern part of America, Ireland, and England.
Yeah, yeah, I reckon, right? So you say that. I say I reckon.
I reckon.
See, almost. I
I
reckon.
reckon. I reckon. I reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
I always
Well,
go, when I do that voice, I always turn into like a 40-year-old woman from the South. I don't know why I choose that one.
maybe it's an old life that you lived.
I think it's from my mom putting on the Waltons and Little House on the Prairie. Those are American, right?
Yeah, Little
Yeah.
House on the Prairie. Not our young audience won't even know what that is. But I can't believe you do.
Yeah,
You know?
ironing on a Sunday night, she had it on, and we just had
Hey,
to
let me ask you something because
watch.
I was here pitching an idea to a friend, and I was telling them, oh, like Charles Dickens, right?
Yeah.
And I won't get into the whole story, but do you know who Charles Dickens is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that away because they did not,
How
and
old were they?
they're 29, one
Oh
is
wow!
23,
Right,
but they're Colombian, so maybe
Oh,
yeah. But I thought the Christmas Carol is like famous all over the world. Sometimes
yeah.
like again, see that's that American kind of mentality. Like I think my history, like I automatically presume everybody knows the American history and
Yeah.
trivia and culture, pop culture.
Well, here, tell you what, we know a lot more than we probably should know about American stuff.
Well, isn't Charles Dickens? Wasn't he? He's English, so
Yeah,
he
he's
should.
England.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on. So
Vaccine.
all right, Corona talk because that's what everybody wants to hear.
But it's not. We're not going to drag on. We're not going to cry or discuss whether it's right. We're just vaccine's been announced.
Right. Okay. So vaccine is out
It's
by
a
multiple companies. Now Pfizer and the U.S. I forgot the latest one, right?
and
Right.
multiple countries as
Right.
well.
In multiple countries, right? Now, uh, there's a lot of conspiratorial talk about vaccines even before the coronavirus came out, right? Basically, the extreme controversial conspiratorial minds say that it's some kind of like fake program just to track us, to insert some kind of tracking agent
Tracking
into us.
device.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, right? They already have that. It's called Google, motherfuckers. Okay, right?
Yeah.
They don't need to. They don't need to shoot
They
nothing in
know where
your
I am right now.
right now, right? And they make it so that if you don't use it, you're gonna make your life a lot harder. So
I've
you
got
can right, you can't order food without Google Maps or whatever. Google knowing where you are, the
I've got
location.
Alexa in the kitchen. I've got this phone on. We're posting this on YouTube. They know
Right, exactly.
everything
They
already.
everything already, right? So let's turn that out of the window. The second kind of thing is that it does more harm than good. Now, I've actually I'm not a conspiracy guy, but some people have sent me some articles, and I just read it just
Oh,
to
yeah, of course.
I give it a shot, you know. And you know what? There have been documented cases of people receiving not this vaccine particularly, but other vaccines, and it doing like irreparable damage, like paralyzing some people. The polio vaccine back.
There are side effects to vaccines.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're and people that didn't want to take it and they took it, and
Mhm.
now they can't walk right for the rest of their life. So I kind of, and that's true. Those are true things.
Well,
Uh,
let me say, newsflash to anyone who is like super against vaccines. Like, it's not just the COVID vaccine where there are side effects. There are in with like what basically every vaccine, you're gonna have side effects for a certain proportion of the population. Like, it's unavoidable.
right. And for those who don't know how a vaccine works, basically they take a microscopic amount of the virus itself, they inject it into you, so your antibodies could learn how to fight it. That way, it causes an immunity, which makes you resistant to the whatever virus they're fighting. It makes sense, right? It's like,
Thank you
hey, like this,
for
like it's kind of like training your body
yeah.
in a Mayweather fight.
Now
It's
that our audience understands immunity and vaccines,
well, I mean, I'm just breaking it down
I
for the
like it.
layman,
I like it. I really
as I was
enjoy.
I was a doctor in a former life.
Yeah.
But anyway, right? So, well, here's my thing. Okay. Now everybody knows that, right? Here's my concerns. And again, I am not a conspiracy guy. I would not take this vaccine right now. Right
Because
now,
it's so new.
it's so new. Right.
Mm.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And I'll tell you why. Okay. This virus is something we've never seen before. You
SARS?
know, no. Yeah, this SARS, yeah, SARS 2. This is something we've never seen. I mean, according to everything you hear about it, we know about it so far. Because one, this incubation period is a lot longer than most viruses. Two, they're saying that.
What do you mean incubation period? Because, like, first of all, I'm not 100% on that, and I'm sure a lot of other people aren't either. What's that about?
Okay, so they say you could catch it. You could be sick within the first 2 weeks after you caught it, right?
Okay.
Usually when you're exposed to somebody that has the flu or any type of cold virus, right? You get sick pretty much within 3 days, and you show symptoms with
Mm.
almost every virus, and it's pretty kind of like, oh man, I was hanging out with Craig and he was sick. Oh, he got me sick, and you pretty much know that Craig got you sick because you obviously was sick, right?
Okay.
With this one, at least according to the reports, right? um you could get sick 2 weeks after and be in contact with somebody that's asymptomatic.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I got you. I got you.
So it's
Yeah.
something that we've never seen before.
That's really weird, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
thinking
How-
about an incubation. Imagine we got a new virus like 100 years later on, and the incubation period was like a month or something. Like,
that's what I'm saying. This is crazy,
2 weeks. That's the
right?
incubation period.
Right, up to 2 weeks. Well, the CDC now put it down to 10 days, but still it's
And this is
still a
a
lot.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
so there's that. So, and from what I remember from like the experts they were interviewing before that
Mm.
have developed other vaccines, they were like, listen, we could develop the vaccine pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
But we study it for years before we introduce it to the public. He's like, that's what he's like, yo, that's why he didn't think this was back in March when I saw his interview. It was about a guy who developed the SARS-1 vaccine,
Okay.
right? He's like, listen, we'll come up with the vaccine pretty fast, right?
Mm.
But how are we going to get into the public because we have to study it for years before we introduce it to the
Yeah,
public.
yeah, yeah.
So they haven't studied this for
No,
years,
they
right?
fast tracked it.
They fast tracked it, right? Warp speed or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a reference for anyone who doesn't know. Trump called it, was it Operation Warp Speed?
Warp speed, a Star
I
Trek
love that. Like
actually,
forgetting the
Star
vaccination
Star Trek
fighting
reference,
people.
right? Love Star Trek Trekkie here, you know. So
Ooh,
look,
pretty good.
everybody could do it.
I
Everyone.
I didn't think I
So
could
I
do it. But
so yeah, so that kind of like, again, I'm not
okay.
you done? All right.
Sorry. Right, go ahead.
All right. So I'm not the well, I'm in Colombia. Okay, so I'm not gonna see this freaking vaccine at
For a
least for
while.
like for a while. So we'll find out. I mean, did you see that video where they put like a uh, 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 what's that called? Like a publicity kind of thing to show them they're injected the vaccine into
Yeah.
people, and then one of them was already
Yes.
it
They
was already
put a cap
pushed
on the
in.
needle.
It was already pushed in, right? And
Yeah.
the guy didn't notice it, right? And he kind of stuck the whoever it was, and he was like, oh, it was a doctor who's getting it, right?
Yeah.
It was already pushed in, and he was like, oh, look, everybody. So everybody's like, look, it's already pushed in. I mean, when you do stupid shit like that, right?
Oh my
That
God. Yeah.
makes people like even doubt it even more, because that is like
Yeah.
caught, right? And you know what their explanation was? Because the news always tries to the media always tries to like, so, oh, it was just that one time, that one person,
But it's
and
like
they
it was such a big moment. It's like, how can you mess that up? You're trying to convince the public that you have created a vaccine that's gonna just solve this problem, and you go and you do that. Like,
right.
Rami, it's shit like that has got the anti-vaxxers and the protesters going mad, and like,
Right.
how can you blame that?
How can you blame them? Because and then you say, "Oh no, 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 it was just that one person, that one time." Yeah, that one person, that one time that was on camera. So you're telling me we're supposed to believe that you
Mm,
gave the shot to everybody else? Now it tells me, oh, all of them might be fake. Just to, I'm like, why would you do that?
mm,
Why would you give fake shots on TV? Like, who's the idiot? And that's what I'm talking about. This kind of fake shit. We're all like in a fake world, Craig.
yeah,
And it's just like you don't know what to believe. The
Rami,
conspiracy.
there'll be two lines of thought here. The one that we're taking, in that, like, I can't believe they fucked it up. There'll be the other side who'll be listen to this and they'll be like, uh, yeah, that's proof that
Right. They're gonna be like, yo, if that's not proof enough for you, you're an idiot. It's right in
exactly.
your face. Your face, right?
But the
Right?
way I think we're both looking at it is from the fact that, like, do you know, I don't want to get into, I have to explain a lot. But anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't take it just yet, but I would probably take it eventually. I mean,
Mm.
I guess
Yeah,
time
you
will
would take
tell.
it eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to see if this works first of all. Like I'm just skeptical that this is going to even work for such a again new virus. We don't know, and already you have a vaccine
And
already.
bro, they've got also, so this is stuff that I think they should deliver to the audience, or to the audience, to the public a little bit more, is that, like, some, not just transparency, but actually, like, take people, like, hey, listen, right, so here's the test that we're doing right now. These are the results. This is what's happened, and give people some confidence, because people are not suckers anymore. People want, like, we understand how manipulative you know the government can be to try and force action, and people are tentative, people are worried, and rightly so. But if they actually showed how this whole thing went played out, if they showed this 95% success rate, like, you got to reveal the other side of it, what can happen, and let us weigh it up. But I'm hearing that some people, or some places, they're going to make it mandatory that you take this vaccine, Rami. Like, that's another thing that I know the US is really fighting against, and or some are fighting for. Do you think, Rami, this vaccination should be mandatory? Uh, and what do you think it will be in some countries?
That's a tough one. What? Let me answer this first. It is going to be mandatory in a lot of countries, if not everything. I mean, I can imagine in an instance, but all the conspiracy theories were worried about this very thing, that you're gonna have to carry some kind of ID card or
Mm.
some kind of identifier saying you've taken this vaccine to enter a restaurant or enter a mall,
Bro,
right?
think about travel.
Right. I mean, travel 100,000%. They're gonna do this. I mean,
Yellow, you going to Brazil? Let me see your yellow fever and your COVID.
right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Should people do this? Well, again, I just want to see how effective this is. It's yeah, it's just there's a battle going on between science and common sense, and science is not looking good right now, man. To be honest.
What do you mean?
uh well, it's just that what you thought, again, I'm not going to get into this because it's way too deep for this right now, right?
You don't think
uh
listeners can handle it?
no, it's going to take forever and we don't have too much time,
Okay,
right?
got it.
So I'm just going to get into it quick, right?
Yeah.
Like evolution. um uh,
That's fake
you
news
know
from.
no, I'm not going to say that, right? Climate change, right?
Mm.
You're taught to believe that it's not even questionable. This is 100% what happened. We evolved from monkeys, right?
Okay.
That's it. You don't question it, right?
Mm.
But if you really look at it, they don't have exact proof. I mean, it's
We're going to go
probable.
into evolution talk here.
Well, I'm just saying, even at 90%, they're like, yo, we're 90% sure. That's not 100%. And they
Mm.
didn't sell it that way. They sold it as 100%, right? Climate change. Yes, I believe in climate change. It does exist. But again, it's just a fucking theory. Okay. They can't really connect the dots still. It's still, some scientists don't believe in climate change.
But
I'm just
you're
saying,
giving some examples of absolutes.
right, exactly.
Okay.
So when science deals in absolutes, when they're not, right, people start like, wait a minute, what about this?
So
Eh,
the
So
integrity.
exactly, exactly. So now there's so many doubts in people's minds about everything that you were taught that was 100% fact, you know? And it's just like, oh man, how do you like argue the point for science when that exists? Like, yo, you're right,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. But
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. So you're kind of like you're sympathizing with those who perhaps, well, not even sympathizing, because like I'm in the same boat as you. I don't want to take this vaccine for a while. I want to see some results. And listen, you start whining at me, just take the vaccine. No, stop it. You have to logically think through and see that, vaccines are complicated, and it actually takes some amount of time to determine that they are like they're
right,
good to take, and
right.
that's acceptable. You have to, um, you know. Uh, but what was the other thing I wanted to say with vaccines? It's gone. It's gone. What were you saying, Rami?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
that's it. Oh, the absolutes. Yeah. Right.
I was gonna lighten this up a wee bit because there's a video I got sent it from a friend. Like, the first lady in the UK took it, the vaccine. She's like 90 odd, and people have already like jumped and made some memes about it. And it's
Oh,
basically,
the 90-year-old
yeah,
lady. Yeah.
yeah. Did you see the video?
I didn't see the video, but I heard the story that she's the first person to take the vaccine.
Yeah, I'm like, fair play to her in her 90s. I would do it. I would do it if I was in my 90s. Would you not?
I mean, what wouldn't you do if
Of
you were in your
course.
night? I mean, at that point, whatever is clever, right?
But Romy, I talked to somebody who said, I can't believe she did it if she's in her 90s. Like, why would she risk it? And I was like, why wouldn't she risk it? She's only got a few years left to live. Like to take a vaccine that may help her be able to hug her child, like her grandchildren again, or just be able
Right.
to live the rest of her life. Of course, instead of being stuck in the house for the
Yeah.
rest of her, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think the older people think, the older you get, the probably the less you should appreciate life.
Which is
It's the
ridiculous.
opposite. Yeah, it's the opposite. The older you
Yeah.
get, the more you want to live, because you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm coming toward the end, and
Yeah.
you start really appreciating all the things that's happened to you
Mm,
toward the end. So yeah,
yeah.
of course she'll take it. I mean, if I was her, why not? And she's probably thought she's doing for the greater good. You know, she's like, if people see that I take it and I'm 90 years old,
yeah.
maybe they're like, well, if she did it, I could do it too. You know, there's I mean, like vaccines do work. I mean, they're let's get this straight, right? Vaccines do work, right? I mean, they were discovered and they were practiced because they're effective against viruses. You know?
Work.
That's right. Vaccines do work. I'm not sure about this vaccine though, but again, nothing's absolute.
To be seen. To be seen. We're hoping.
Right.
Yeah, we're hoping. But
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think.
yes, sir. Go ahead.
I think we're
We're running
just
over
there.
time.
Yeah, a little bit. No.
Yeah. We'll finish it up.
Let's wrap this up.
Let's do another minute. What's your last thoughts on it then?
Don't put the pussy on a pedestal. No, I'm just.
Don't put the pussy on it. Why did she end it like that?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm out of focus. I moved my hands. Maybe I bring them back here and wiggle them a wee bit. Will that bring it back? If anyone has any photography expertise, tell me why my camera is doing what it's doing.
I think it's the autofocus. Your autofocus sucks.
It is on autofocus. You're right, but I thought it would be better than this. Like what else is it zooming into? So, right. Anyway.
I could really see behind you really clear.
Oh, great. You know, do you like my light switch and my
whatever that
handle?
Whatever that thing you're sitting in front of.
Okay, right.
We should call this silly talk, not side talk.
Oh, I'm back in focus. All right. Yes, you're right. It should be silly talk. Here we should call it silly talk. There's a channel already called SideTalk.
Yeah, well, maybe we should call it silly talk.
Okay, let's call it silly talk. Decided. Right.
Done.
If we get to 20 subscribers,
if we get to 10 views, you know,
we got more than 10 views.
I don't even know. I haven't checked. The last one I know. Whatever. We should talk to this off screen. Thank you for episode 5, Mr. Craigster.
You're very welcome.
Talk. Maybe silly talk.
Possibly. Boys and girls, join us in the next episode, episode 6. It is gonna be whoo, isn't it, Ramy?
Oh yeah, woo!
All right, that was Logan Paul, Jake Paul, boxing and vaccines. Have a lovely weekend. That'll do it.